Zombie Apocalypse. Take 1. It's cold out here. What the heck was that? Holy crap. Oh. Need to be quiet. Oh, crap. What will happen next time? Let's find out at Key Automatic next time.
So, you're back, huh? Thank you, Rowan, for going and grabbing the camera from the shop for me. Looked like a perilous journey to me. This is Adam Kniffin. We're sitting down for Sunday morning coffee. This is where once a week I'll ramble and rant and rave and just generally be politically incorrect, rude, and ungracious enough to be at least slightly an asshole. You know, I want to touch on the aspect of depression. It's something that I see a lot these days, and it seems to be gaining speed and power over a populace that's overwhelmed by modern extravagancies. The interesting thing about depression is I can look at a person that's depressed and run down and beat up and go, oh, fuck, that ain't nothing, man. Just shake it off. Move on. But to them, you know, this is something that I think everybody needs to realize. Depression is something wholly different. You know, your misery is completely your own and unique. And it's your own personal, tailor-made personal hell, really. I deal with it. I've dealt with it since I can remember. I think most of it's considered, I don't know, modern science calls it chemical imbalance or whatever. Who gives a shit? But, you know, I'll tell you, I've been quite overwhelmed just by everything lately. It's been rough. The last 6 months has been very difficult. Probably the hardest I've had in recent memory. It just is, you know. Keep your chin up, move forward. That's all you can do. Push on, because that's all you got left. You know, and what really brings that up is an acquaintance and associate of mine. You know, the guy's talking about checking out early.
No. Oh,
hey,
yeah, that's toilet.
Can I film? Can I film now?
Yeah.
You gonna be quiet for me to film?
Yeah.
Alright. That is my daughter Ivy. Obviously I'm very candid with my children. She's sitting next to me as I'm discussing these things. But I got an acquaintance, and I don't know, I think I'd like to call the guy a friend. He's a good guy, you know, good heart. But he's let this world just trample him. And he's talking about exactly that, checking out early. He's owed a spot of cash on some labor. And he's talking about going out and falling off the wagon he's been on for 14 years. And taking the old dirt nap. I'm supposed to hear from him today. I will probably be contacting his family prior to that, because I'm not interested in enabling such a horrific deal. I pushed him off. I could have met with him yesterday and taken care of everything, and I pushed him off till today, hoping a new sunrise would affect things a little differently. You put money in someone's hot little hands that's in that predicament, in that state of mind, and I'm really concerned that will enable them to follow through with And then once they're all strung out, then, you know, the next step isn't that hard still. So just remember, you know, everybody's depression, no matter how menial it seems to you, is their own personal hell. It's a culmination of everything they think has gone wrong or is going wrong in life. And in the same fucking sentence, god damn it, people, in the same fucking sentence, if every situation you get yourself into, somebody, something, circumstances, something comes along and fucks it up. You know, there comes a point in a man's life, in a person's life, that if everything you do, somebody fucks up, you really need to step back and go, wow, is the world my problem or am I my problem? You're stepping in your own way. Oft times, and I can speak on good authority on this shit, oft times you're stepping in your own way. And that's no good. I mean, you're looking for something of happiness from without. And happiness doesn't take money, doesn't take things. It takes a sense of calm, a sense of well-being inside of your guts. And by and by, I'm a happy motherfucker. Can't you tell? And I relish the day-to-day struggles. It's just the way it is. I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't fighting for it. I'd find something else to fight for. And I stood back and it's like, you know, all these problems seem to always plague me. What is it? What's wrong with people? What's wrong with the world? Why is it always me? Why me? Why me? That's the big one that especially depressants get caught up on. It's not why me, it's what am I doing? What can I change? What can I do differently? We're all champions and warriors by our own right. We just have to tap that. And that's been the bigger focus on a lot of my repair videos. I always implore people, go out and do something interesting. Take pictures, show me. Drop me a line. I'm easy to find. Facebook and YouTube and shit, man. You find me on those two. You can find my geographic. I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. Easy shit. Now, you know, it's all in your headset. You get your headspace straight, you can go a hell of a lot further than having your head stuffed up your own ass. And too many people do that these days. You know, I want to take a moment and just kind of talk about basically self-defeatism, depression, anxiety. They plague so many people. So many people out there today are forced to get up and go to the job that they hate because it gives them the insurance that they have to have for the medication that they feel they must be on so that they can get up and go to work at the job they hate so they can afford the medication they feel they have to be on so they can get up. And, you know, they used to have commercials when I was a kid. Oh, I do more coke so I can work more. I work more so I can buy more coke. I buy more coke so I can work more. Same fucking deal. But now it's the pharmacies pushing it. I don't know. Don't check out early, people. I guess is a premise. Get your head set straight. Otherwise you won't do nothing but wallow in your own filth. But I'll tell you another thing that really, really upsets me. And I gotta say, my heart definitely goes out to everybody in Boston at the time and everything going on out there. It's horrific. It's terrible. You know, we've got operatives all over the world doing the exact same thing right now. You know, and we're creating war zones in other countries. Well, now there's people creating war zones in our country. I don't see it slowing down. I don't see it stopping. All I see is us losing more of our personal freedoms and rights. And that crushes me. That's terrible. I wish the world could be simpler. But we've got powerful men waving penises at each other. Most wars aren't fought between people. I've never heard of a war fought between people. But a war fought between leaders. The people that have vested interests in this or that. But what really made me cringe was, police, door to door, lockdown. That's cool. Okay, my hat's off to Boston PD. Those guys were badass, and they took care of it as promptly as they could. But here's the problem, people. I had no qualm when we hunted this little bastard down, and we shot him. He shot himself. Who gives a shit? I don't think there's going to be really any answers garnered out of a child. But here's the problem. We brought the National Guard in. We brought military trucks in. We brought military action on a civilian population in America. People, wake the fuck up. That is against the Constitution. My kids had a war over dry erase markers in their dry erase easel. That was the screaming 5-year-old. She was pissed. Now, all that aside, I've had enough somber and serious, and I try not to take anything too serious. We're just here for too short a time. I found Chief. I found the big chief over there in Hawaii on Facebook, care of Jay and Big Daddy Kenny. They both are friends on Facebook. I found Jay because of Kenny, and Kenny found me, which I thought was just fabulous. So I gotta pop in on Jay. I see him on every now and again. I haven't popped in on him. So Jay, I'm sorry, man. I see you up on there. I'm gonna bounce in on you one of these evenings. I'm up to, I don't know, I'd say half a dozen of the folks that are in the garage, maybe more, that I chat with online, and I think it's great. Oh gosh, I intend to try to attend the Mumble. I got information on that, I believe, so we're gonna go from there. But yeah, I found Big Chief. I was very pleased. All the way from Hawaii, I get to chat with the guy. I only had a minute yesterday. I took the kids out to the lake to walk around and go get ice cream, and we made a day of it. We don't go out very often. Usually I'm pretty much isolated to this acre of land that I possess, and I'm pretty okay with that right now in my life, that where I'm at in my existence. I'm comfy here. I'm cozy here. I get real anxious when I go out in public. It bothers me. So, we all got our hurdles to overcome. But yeah, it's great. I chat with Kenny almost every evening on Facebook. He called me last week. We chatted for a while. I don't know, it just tickles me. It pleases me to get to chat with people. So here's the next one. Drop me a line. Give me something. Give me a subject matter. I'm running thin. I'm just not that angry of a person. I don't come up with stuff to bitch about every week, here's one I was looking at. A big gun rally in, I think it was North Carolina or something. Big gun rally. Not a single gun drawn, not a single shot fired. And big, crazy, violent gun people. But the pot rally, where was that, in Denver or something? There were 4 people. 3 people shot, 4 people shot. Nobody critically wounded, but there were people shot at the pot rally, which I didn't see coming. I mean, I don't have a moral stance on pot. I think it's just fucking stupid. I don't smoke. never have smoked, no interest in smoking, but why is something like that on federal prohibition? I will never understand. I'm not saying I'm an advocate of pot, but I'm going to tell you something else. Hemp and fibers, the government used to enforce the growing of for rope, for fabric, for... I don't understand the way this world works these days. I think that's part of why I find the release in what I do. Out there in that shop, you know, I can ignore 2013. I can pretend it doesn't exist. I can go and use tools and materials that they were using in the 50s and 60s. Apply my trade and practice starts from the 50s and 60s. I'm an old punk rock kid, you know. Give me the Clash and Danny Livingston and some of these great old artists from you know the 70s. I'm not of this day and age, and you know I don't know. I think there needs to be more people like that with older values. You know, I barely subsist at what I do, but I wouldn't know how to go out going and getting a straight job. Like I've explained to you folks, I don't drive right now, and there's reasons for that. You want to know why? Go back in the videos, check it out. You know, I bared more than I was comfortable with, just because I felt it pertinent to what was going on, and a little explanation of me and whom I am. So I want you all to stick around. Drop me a line. Give me a subject post to rant about, to analyze, to look into. I don't know. Who gives a shit? I don't care what you want to talk about. You know, I'm not a Christian guy. I'm of the old European faith. So my reading is cornered in that arena, the old lore, like your old sagas and eddas. My music, well, like I told you, I got Miss Peggy Lee tattooed on me. You know, Harry Connick Jr., Old Blue Eyes. We listened to Dean Martin most of the week. All day. Like 3 days last week, we listened to Dean Martin. So, music, yeah, I'm pretty wide open. I don't really get into hip-hop and rap, but there's some out there. I can appreciate it. It's just, it doesn't have a connection to where I come from, my upbringing. That's all it is. It's not a statement of, oh, rap sucks. It's a statement of, it's not from where I'm from. Past that, I read a lot of science fiction. There you go. The classics, the masters. Asimov and Heinlein and Bradbury and Philip K. Dick. So there you go. Those are what I know. I know old cars, old strange and science fiction literature, old music. You know, I'm 36, but man, most days I feel old, and I'm really okay with that. You know, I'm 36, and man, I'm graying. It's wild. I think it's their fault. But you know, everybody go out there and enjoy what you got for a day, because you never know when it ends. And don't check out early. We don't need no more of that shit. Violence and hatred and misunderstandings. I'm sick of it. And I think the sooner more people stand up and say, I'm sick of it, we can start affecting a positive change in our world. So go out there and reinforce the things that you love, that you care about, that you feel strongly about, and ignore the shit that you don't. Unless, of course, it takes direct action to deal with. But, you know what I mean. People want to sit there on their soapbox and bitch about everything they hate. Is that any way to raise children in this world? Because if that's all you do, that's all they hear. And that's all they're going to come up to do. That's not fair to them. That's how we end up with depression and anxiety and medications and psychologists and psychoanalyzing and bombs in buildings. We don't need hate. We need to lift each other up. At the end of the day, we're all Americans. Democrat, Republican, they're both robbing us blind. Why do we support them? Why do we argue about those lines? Those people aren't in there for our own good. We just need to come together as common people, just trying to make it in this world. Go out and do something great today. Send me pictures. Talk to y'all soon.